Hey everyone, in this video I will show you my process of creating the assets for my game using Stable Diffusion UI. And what you currently see on the screen is my project open up in Visual Studio. This pet project is not my first attempt to create my own game, but all previous attempts fell short solely because one reason. And this reason is I couldn't create all the images, all the assets required for my game by myself. And honestly, I didn't want to hire anyone to help me because the purpose of this project was to make the game 100% by me. So yeah, as a software developer, it's always a pain in the ass to draw images, draw animations, complex UI elements, etc. But thankfully nowadays we have a great tool called Stable Diffusion, and anyone can generate all kinds of images as well as images required for one's game. That's pretty much what I'm gonna show you in this video, how to create cool smooth animations with it. And currently my pet project in prototype state. It's far from being fully functional, but I've implemented some features. I've generated some animations, and let's look what I currently already built. And you can decide if you wanted to continue to watch this video, because that's not very, I would say, professionally looking animations or assets, but they are good enough for me. So yeah, that's this is my game, and that's pretty much a typical 2D platformer. And I took a lot of inspiration from Prince of Persia and some others older retro games. As you can see, currently the character on the screen is going through idle animation, and it's capable of running from left to right. I mean, there is a wall, and I can't go through the wall. In order to go through, I need to destroy those tiles, and the reason why this wall there is to test the destructibility of those certain tiles. So just like in Prince of Persia, the character is able to jump, to hang off from some kind of tiles, special tiles. And as you can see, also we have an enemy, a skeleton warrior who walks on the upper floor, and he's waiting for us. So pretty much it's sense our presence. There is a distance, and the minimal distance that he can sense us. So yeah, he started to chase the character, and he will try his best to hit us, but he does currently 0 damage because it's not implemented yet. But on the other hand, we can kill him with just one swing of the sword. Also, the character is capable currently of jumping. You see there is a bar on the lower on the bottom of the screen in the left lower corner, and this bar fills when I hit up arrow. So you see there is also a bunch of deadly lava tiles, and in order to go through them we need to jump, so exactly use the arrow button. Also, there is an icon of the shield, and what it does is to let us use the block ability. So if I hit the Alt button, the block animation runs, and we can block enemy hits. To test this feature, I have a fire arrow button, and by the way, all those controls, all those buttons are here just for me to be able to change some parameters values, and in the final version of the game they are not going to be there. It's just for testing purposes and for convenience. I could go back to code and change some constants, rebuild the bundle and get back to the UI, but it's just too much hassle. It's easier to put them there and control them through the UI elements. So okay, if I press the fire arrow, you can see the arrow flies towards the character and it hits her right in the face, and we lose one life. So if I hit again, we'll lose another life, and if we click an Alt button, she just blocks the arrow, and we don't lose one more life. And by the way, if there is 0 life, it just dies instantly, and this is what happens if I go to across the lava tiles. So that's pretty much it. Not much to tell about this game more. It's far from functional, but fully functional, but that's what it is. And if you take a close look at the character, you can see there is some noise on the textures of the character, and that happens because of the way those animations were generated. So as I said, we're gonna use the stable diffusion, and the animations was generated one frame by one frame, so in the sequence. And even though those images generated this way are very similar in style and the look of the character is pretty much the same, there are gonna be some differences, and those differences are results in those changes of the outfit. For example, you can see the skirt goes a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. There are some leather straps appears and disappears, but for me, I don't care about this. Those things. I would rather count them as a feature, not bugs. But your mileage may vary, and you might want to avoid this. So you can go in Photoshop and clean them out, or I guess you can spend more time and generate those images more preciously. But as I already said, those don't bother me too much. So next step is gonna be we will power the stable diffusion, and we will take it. Also, as prerequisites, I would expect you to be able to work in stable diffusion. I would expect you to be able to generate those images, so I wouldn't go through every control element and explain what it does, what it should look like. But even if you completely new to the stable diffusion, I think it will be possible to just repeat step by step what I do exactly. So that's not the rocket science, and that it's not going to be very difficult to recreate those animations even if you are a complete beginner, but some experience would help for sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is to start the stable diffusion, and we actually going to start looking into how to generate images. So you can notice that there is some input parameters for the stable diffusion script, but they doesn't matter, because most of them are just for optimization, like this one and this one, for example. And this one parameter is just for me to be able to load the models from the different directory. Okay, so here I just loaded the Stable Diffusion UI. That's default state of my UI. And as you can see, I have a featureless flat 2D mix checkpoint model. Um, you can use whatever you want, pretty much any standard model is gonna work just as good as this one, but I consider this one is the best option of what I tried to make a good images for my personal preferences. And we're gonna use an image to image tab because we're gonna provide some images for pose references and an image for style reference. So let me quickly show you what I mean by that. I will use my previously generated image from freefall animation to quickly load the description to image tab. Okay, so actually we're going to use image to image tab and we don't need txt to image at all. I just clicked the wrong button. So here, as you can see, the positive prompt and negative prompt being populated from the PNG info. That's a nice little trick you may or may not know, but here you go. You can just load your image here previously generated by you or by another user of Stable Diffusion and pre-populate, um, for example, image to image tab from that image. Okay, so currently I have my positive prompt from my character, and that's not really important. You can use whatever you want here as long as it's described your character well enough. The only thing I would draw your attention to is I use this one particular lora. I will put the link in the description to this one as well as this night lora. And what this one pixel f2 do is it does turn your image into pixelated, a little bit pixelated, depends on what weight you decide to use. And night, this lore is basically turns your characters into some kind of RPG style characters. You need to use some keywords like knight, wizard, or something like that to get the um, results you want. But also you may just want to use armor keyword, so your character more likely be dressed into something resembles the armor. This main image currently I just gonna use some basic uh, concept art image, and it doesn't matter what we're gonna put here. It's just used for the pose reference. You're gonna see in a moment. And we're going to use a control net extension. If you don't know what extensions are, that's like the scripts, the piece of functionality you can add modularly to your Stable Diffusion. So it's like plugins. And in order to install the extension, you should go to GitHub page of that extension. We're going to use two extensions in that process, in my process workflow. One of them is called sd-palettize, and I'm gonna put those links into the description as well, so you are not uh, you're not gonna search for them. And another one is SD Web UI control net. So there is a high chance that you already have this one because it's very popular, you know. But this one is more niche and used like to create more pixel art images. All right, so when you grab this URL of the extension, like for example, WebUI ControlNet, you put it into this install from URL tab and click install. When it's finished to install, more likely than not, you need to restart your Stable Diffusion, and then please check that everything installed correctly, and yeah, you got them listed here. But anyway, we're gonna use two kind of control nets, one of them being as I already mentioned, the pause control net. And if you want to generate full body image, you're gonna use open pause full. Um, and yeah, if you don't have those, like they might be, that might be necessary to go and download them. And there are plenty of tutorials on the net already how to install and download those models. But yeah, you wanna have open pause full preprocessor and this one model. You see there is also a hash of this model. So if you don't have this model, you might just search for this hash, particular one, if you wanna like repeat everything I do in this video. I like to put low VRAM checkpoint. I wanna also always have it selected because my PC is moderately weak performance-wise, and yeah, that helps a lot. Also, you wanna obviously click enable checkbox. Control mode, I leave it at balanced most of the times, and this one control unit, we're gonna choose adapter clip and the model adapter SD15. So what it does, it tries to gather style information uh, from the source image and use it to generate the final result. And you can upload independent control image, but currently we're just gonna use this one for both pose control unit and IP adapter control unit. So here we're gonna choose Palettize as the script. It's one of the extensions I told you about before, and we're gonna use the palette. Uh, you can find all kinds of palette on this site, lowspec.com, and my favorite one is Apollo palette. I use PNG image 1x. It's basically the row of colors, and once you download this, you're gonna use it in the palette tab. You just drag and drop it into this field, like so. Um, you can specify palette URL if you want to. Um, yeah, usually I like to select this checkbox, show original images, and colors in palette. That's a good idea to match the colors in your palette, obviously, the number of colors 46, but sometimes you may play with this parameter and see for yourself what results it gives to you. Mm, Sometimes it gives interesting results. Next one is downscale factor. So usually I use 3 to downscale for my final image, but uh, I encourage you to try different numbers and to see what you like the most, the final result. Okay, so the seed, we can like put the random seed, it doesn't really matter. Sampling method also doesn't really matter too much, but you can select one of DPM++. I leave it at SDE. Next one is important, really. You want to match the width and height of the final image so it matches the source image proportions more or less. So it's not really a rule, but something like this should work. Okay, so what do we have? Featureless flat 2D mix as the checkpoint, uh, positive prompt as you like, describe your character as you like. This image is primarily used for the pose. Now, the noise and strength is put at 0.5. What it means is this image is going to be transformed like 50%, you know. Uh, it's not going to be completely different image in the end, but 50%, 0.5 strength is um, quite a lot. So it's not going to be like the source anymore. And like if you put 0, you are not gonna um, not gonna see the original information from the original image at all. Okay, so here we have two control nets selected and enabled. One of them is for style, another one is for pose, and also palettize extension enabled. Okay, so hit the generate button and wait for magic to happen. Okay, so the image is ready, and as you can see, that image is pretty much resembles the original one, but pixelized. So you can tell me, hey, but what if I want to use the completely different look in the end? Well, um, as I said, this one image is only for the pose, so we can try to generate something completely different, like um, okay, so let's use this dummy model. As you can see, it's just a simple model standing with one hand in the air, right? Um, what we can use, what we can do is try to generate the output image that resembles that pose, but in using the style of our original image, this one. So let's try this out. So you see, we use this one image to get the pose out of it and this image to get the style out of it, and combined we got the final result that uh, have the pose of the reference image and the style of another reference. And the important part is that we use the denoising strengths of 0.5. So this image is not totally gone. It's used like the base for our um, information to put in as a layers, you know. I guess you already understand where I am going with this one. Uh, this is the first frame of my death animation sequence. So there is a batch tab in the image to image tab. So what I'm gonna use is the from directory option, and the input directory is gonna be my folder with animation frames um, of these dummy pictures, you know, of the sequence of dummy pictures. Wait a minute. So the animation sequence is look like this. And how these images were made is the different like the different question, but I'm going to show you uh, in the next like in the next chapter. Uh, so I'm going to use this directory, this folder, as an input directory, and output directory we just can create a temporary folder and name it this animation, right? And use it as the output directory. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Alrighty, our animation is ready and all frames has been generated. Let's take a look at them. So you probably noticed that some of the frames has the character with the blonde hair and some of the frames has the character with black hair, and that's pretty much the differences that I was talking about earlier. And in order to fix that, you should pick the frame that you want to change and regenerate it. So in our case, if we're gonna stick with the blonde hair, we should go through each and every um, frame where the hair is black and generate them one by one. Another one option is to put a higher weight on the blonde hair token in the description. So in my case, it has the default one weight, but if you keep getting the black hair, because the black hair we use in our style control unit picture, if that's the case, you can try to increase the strength of this token. Most probably it's gonna fix the issue for most of the frames. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the way I generated all the animations in the demo I showed you in the beginning. The open question is still, how do you get those uh, those original images, those dummy images? As you can see, that's the very plain, that's basic 3D model rendered to 2D, like 2D image from the side. So I'm gonna show you how to easily and quickly um, get those sequences of dummy images in the next video, because this one is already I guess too long. So yeah, thank you for watching me uh, talking about my process, my workflow. That was the first ever video I created for YouTube. But you know what? I watched like 1,000 of different tutorials on YouTube, programming related, art related, stable diffusion related, whatever. And I just decided that now it's my turn to give back something to the community. And yeah, if this information is gonna help someone, that's great. That's more than enough for me. Uh, I will be very happy if you will go to commentary section and leave um, comment if you find this information useful. And if you have any question, for example, I think some of you, some guys, will struggle to find those models. So if that's really the case, if you guys will have any issues with that, um, you just please drop a question in the commentary section, and maybe we just need to like make a separate video about this one, this uh, models for control net. But yeah, next one is going to be on how to create um, those sequences of images. Yeah, stay tuned, guys. See you later.